This is Marilyn Lohman, Service Hydrologist at WFO Pendleton. I will be reviewing the mountain snowpack over the last several months and water supply forecasts for the upcoming spring and summer. This map, produced by the Natural Resource Conservation Service, shows the percent of normal snow water equivalent, or the amount of water being held in the snowpack, across the various basins of the state of Washington. December was another very dry month across the region. At the end of the month, there was only 40 to 50% of normal snowpack in the central and southern Washington Cascades, with the lower Snake Basin indicating about 85% of normal snow conditions. And within the lower Snake Basin, the Walla Walla Basin had about 60% of normal. These amounts are some of the lowest seen in the past 20 years for this time of year, and are near snow amounts seen in 2005. We'll now take a look at a few locations within the basin to see how the snowpack is accumulating. These charts show the snow water equivalent for the water year, October through September. The blue line is the maximum observed, with the red line the minimum, and the green line is the average. Using these charts, we can see how the snow water equivalent accumulates through the winter and spring and compare it to the average. This site, the Tushy Snowtail site, is in the Walla Walla Basin, around 5,500 feet. Looking at the black line, we can see that this site had little accumulation during the month and is still well below normal. The Sassy Ridge Snowtail site is located in the upper Yakima Basin at about 4,200 feet. Looking at the black line, we can see this site had little accumulation during the month and is well below normal and is near the minimum reported for this location at this point in the year. The Bumping Ridge Snowtail site is around 4,600 feet in the central Washington Cascades. As with the previous locations, there was little accumulation, with amounts remaining well below normal. Across the Oregon portion of the Pendleton forecast area, from this graphic dated December 31st, the snowpack is extremely low over a large part of the state. Amounts were only 20 to 30% of normal over the Cascades, with slightly better amounts in the John Day Basin, with around 50% of normal. The Umatilla Basin and the Grand Ronde Basin ranged from around 65 to 70% of normal. As noted previously, these are some of the lowest amounts seen for this time of year in the last 20 years, and is very comparable to 2005. We'll look at some individual sites within the basin in the next several slides. In the lower Deschutes Columbia Basin region, Clear Lake Snowtail is at an elevation of 3,500 feet. Looking at the black line, the current year observation, there is very little snowpack at this location, with the higher elevation sites seeing slightly better amounts. In the upper Deschutes Basin, Three Creek Meadows Snowtail site is at about 5,600 feet. We can look at the solid black line and note that the site has had little accumulation during the month of November, and this continued through December and is well below normal. For the John Day Basin, we can look at the Blue Mountain Springs Snowtail site at 5,900 feet. This location had some accumulations throughout the month, but remains quite well below normal. For the Umatilla Basin in the Blue Mountains, we can look at the High Ridge site at 4,900 feet. Looking at the black line, we can see that there was little accumulation at the start of the month, but some storms moving through at mid to late month gave it a boost, but still remains below normal. In the Grand Ronde Basin, the Moss Springs Snowtail site at 5,800 feet has been gaining snow throughout November and December and is one of the only sites in the region near normal. The Northwest River Forecast Center uses Ensemble Streamflow Prediction, or ESP, generated forecasts as the official water supply method. The 30-year runoff normals covering the years 1981 to 2010 are being used. For all of the published locations, the updated normals are less than the previous set of normals dated 1971 to 2000. This is due to the relatively dry runoff period from 2001 to 2010. New ESP forecasts will be published on the Northwest River Forecast Center's website at a minimum of once per week, but may be updated daily at the discretion of the Northwest River Forecast Center. For updated forecasts and more information on the ESP forecasts, please see the River Forecast Center's website at the address given. This map from the Northwest River Forecast Center shows a snapshot of the water supply forecast for the coming season. We can see the normal to above normal forecast amounts are generally over northern Idaho and Montana, with a few locations into northeast Oregon. Most of the Cascade region is expected to see amounts below normal, with well below normal amounts expected in the upper Snake area of southern Idaho. For the Yakima River system, we will look at the Yakima River near Parker. Looking at the plot, the solid green line is the 30-year normal. The box plots show the entire range of forecast values, with the blue dot the 50th percentile, or most likely value. We'll be using that 50th percentile and comparing it to normal. The volume forecast for the Yakima River near Parker has decreased some, with amounts near 95% of normal expected. The forecast volume of water, or the blue dot, for the Grand Ronde River near Troy is expected to be slightly above normal. These forecasts have increased as some snowpack has accumulated during the last month or so. For the Umatilla River at Pendleton, for the period April through September, the volume forecast is near 80% of normal, due to the below normal precipitation and snow seen so far this year. The Columbia River at the Dalles can be an indicator for the entire Columbia Basin. Once again, we see the average plotted in green, with the most likely value, the blue dot. The volume for April through September period is near 95% of normal. The previous seen plots and additional water supply locations are available in an interactive form on the Northwest River Forecast Center's website at the address listed on the concluding slide. The 3-month outlook from the Climate Prediction Center for January, February, and March calls for normal to slightly below normal temperatures and equal chances for above, below, or normal precipitation. Once again, additional water supply forecasts and the interactive forecasts can be found at the Northwest River Forecast Center's webpage at the address listed. Please join me again in early February to see how the snowpack is progressing and updated water supply forecasts. If you have any questions, please contact me by email or by the phone number listed here. Thank you, and hope to see you next month.